we got to cover our NFL divisions, man. So let's get into the NFC West. That's that's where the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks reside, and they enter the 2026 season looking to navigate their Super Bowl title defense under head coach Mike Macdonald, coming off an incredible championship run where Sam Darnold eliminated mistakes. Quarterback Sam Darnold is firmly locked in as the unquestioned starter, while the offense is transitioning to new coordinator Brian Fleury. The scheme remains largely continuous. Darnold has looked sharp, pushing the ball downfield to the reigning AP Offensive Player of the Year, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. The running back room is operating as a committee while Zach Charbonnet works his way back from offseason ACL surgery. First-round rookie Jadarian Price gave the team a scare with lower body soreness that sidelined him for the first preseason game against Dallas, but he has recently returned to practice. In their absence, George Holani and free agent addition Emmanuel Wilson have taken significant camp reps. Can the Seahawks repeat as Super Bowl champions? What say the people's champ?
I don't see it, bro. It's just so hard to repeat as champion.
It really is.
It's just a hard thing to do. I mean, I think they're still going to be competitive. They're still contenders, even though it is a backfield by committee. I mean, I just feel the offense is that well-oiled of a machine, and they have, good enough protection up front.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Darnold pretty much, he has the playbook down, and he's got the best weapon in the league.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
To get the ball to. So, I don't know how long Charbonnet is out.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be.
Because that was an ACL,
and it was in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, you may not see him at Thanksgiving.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So,
I was going to say at least till late October, November, maybe.
And I mean, losing the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. That's going to be painful. We're going to get to that conversation. And
that kind of changes things.
That changes the look.
And again, I think Sam Darnold has exercised all the demons. He's the champion.
Yep.
But this is now a different phase yet again for him as now the hunted.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's not cute. It's not cute anymore.
Great point. Yep.
So let's see how he adjusts to that. I think he's proven more than enough where I can say I think he'll, respond because he's done nothing but that to get to where he's at now. So I think that's a different element. But, I just think with that, with this division specifically.
Oh, man.
Repeating is a tall, Wimby tall task.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so listen, I'll disagree. I think they could repeat. By all accounts, the defense will be stellar again. I mean, Mike Macdonald is a fantastic defensive coordinator. They re-signed Devin Witherspoon, 4 years, $132 million, making him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history, $101 million guaranteed. They rushed the quarterback by committee. We talked about that. Nobody had more than 7 sacks. And by the way, the two players that had 7 sacks were the interior defensive linemen, Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams. So, I mean, I love the defensive philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't put the burden on one guy, and the opposing team's quarterback has to be leery of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like, oh, okay, they got, said edge rusher over here, or they got a really great defensive tackle coming up the middle. They sort of get to you by committee. So I think they could. Like you, I don't foresee it, but I'm like, would it shock me if they repeated? No. I mean, they have a great defense, and defense is what wins championships. Like, they will still be a terror on the opposing offense. Yes. I mean, like when nobody's going to want to go up there to Seattle to play a football game this season. If they end up with home field advantage again, watch out, because nobody's going to want to go up there. I remember reading long ago that they are the furthest stadium away from an opponent's stadium in the NFL. They almost 900 miles away from their closest opponent's stadium, and that's San Francisco. So, like, you got to go way up to Seattle in order to play them. That's a long road trip for anybody, even the 49ers, who are their closest opponent. So, no, I mean, they absolutely could, but I don't think they will. They are not my pick because I think the running back situation and the offense overall is – I don't think they have enough explosive weapons. I don't think that, because eventually, as great as JSN is, I think that they will, when you have one great offensive weapon, they'll find a way to take that away from you. And then, like you depending on, and again, no disrespect to Cooper Kupp, but he getting up there, you know what I'm saying? Like, the tight end situation, they have good tight ends, nothing jaw-dropping, or awe-inspiring. Like you said, it's running back by committee. We're going to talk about Jadarian Price in a minute, they first-round draft pick, who I like. Mm-hmm. But it's just you start looking for those other explosive offensive weapons, and you like, it's not a lot of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like JSN and then a far drop-off to the second best offensive weapon. And that's what you don't want to see when you are looking at these types of situations. You want to see, a number two that puts something on the defense's mind. You don't want them to just load up on your best guy and be able to take him away, and then all of a sudden you out of explosive players.
Yeah, especially in this division.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was looking at this division from top to bottom. It's nasty, man. And Arizona, I feel bad for Mike LaFleur. I'm like, boy, oh boy, you talk about an uphill climb, my brother.
Ice skating uphill.
But we're gonna talk about Arizona. They're gonna have a moment in the sun. The Seattle Seahawks running back situation, heavily unsettled due to a flurry of injuries, a massive offseason departure in Kenneth Walker, and recent roster reshuffling. With regular season preparations ramping up, the team is working through a transition phase in the backfield. Seattle selected Jadarian Price in the first round of the NFL draft to be the future of the backfield, with Zach Charbonnet starting the season on the PUP list due to let me ask you, do you expect Jadarian Price to replace Kenneth Walker's production? We'll say the people's champ.
I think he can. Yep. Walker was he was versatile.
He was
versatile. So I don't know if the production will look quite the same.
Right.
But I think he can move the sticks.
Okay.
And that's kind of what you want, especially, again, if he's kind of sharing the load.
Right.
To start out.
Right.
I think he's got a lot of talent, man.
Price is
he's
very
extremely
good.
explosive.
But
K9 is kind of like one of those guys that I guess he's just going to be one of those dudes that always floats below the radar.
Yes.
And what he does is just going to be like, yeah, he's good, but he's just good. And it's crazy to me because he's a home run hitter.
Mm-hmm.
So, will Price come in and provide that for them?
Yeah.
I think he's capable.
I do too.
But again, the NFL is different, man. Will he take that first lick and be like, I'm good?
Right.
Or
that's the part. I don't think that he will replace the production. I don't even think it's fair to ask him to do that. Again, like when you look at Kenneth Walker's overall production, particularly last season, 1,300 all-purpose yards in the regular season. Yeah. He only had 5 touchdowns. And then he had over 400 all-purpose yards in 3 playoff games and 4 touchdowns. But he averaged 4.6 yards a carry in the regular season and then over 5.5 yards per touch in the postseason. And I think that's where you start to he only touched it 221 times. Mm-hmm. And then even if you look at that and you say, okay, let's say Price manages to reproduce that, you got to remember that we just talked about it. Charbonnet is probably going to be out for the first 8 to 10 weeks of the year. So remember that when Walker was producing these numbers, he was sharing time in the backfield with Charbonnet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Charbonnet is highly productive.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So, you would probably need Jadarian Price to do 1.5 times what Kenneth Walker did because they're missing also Zach Charbonnet. So I think, again, I just think that there's going to be a deficit within that backfield. You know, like they're going to feel the Kenneth Walker loss even more so because Charbonnet was hurt. And I'm like, I thought that this was the wrong time for the Seattle Seahawks to get tight with the wallet. Right. I'm like, again, and they signing, Jadarian Arnold and
right. But do you necessarily think had they kept Walker, would their alternative be to just give him more touches, or would they still go back to the more so running back by committee model? Whereas, like say with the Lions, when Montgomery was hurt, we was like, bet more touches for Jameer.
Right.
Is Walker that kind of feature, do you think?
I mean, I still think they probably would have drafted a running back with Charbonnet being hurt. Mm-hmm. Maybe not Jadarian Price in the first round. Right. Maybe somebody further down in the draft. You know what I'm saying? But no, I still think that they would have probably found somebody to pair with him. Okay. You need 2 running backs in the NFL now anyway. Right. But I think that you could have you still would anticipate his production not dropping off.
Right, for sure.
And then, now who's to say that other running back would give you Zach Charbonnet's production? But the problem now is that you're trying to replace both.
Yeah.
And trying to repeat that Super Bowl. See, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the issue that I'm seeing, is that you're attempting to replace both of them for the first 8 to 10 weeks of the year, not just one of them.
Yeah.
Like replacing one of them is that seems feasible, but replacing both of them is where I think, we get into.
That's tough.
Yeah, an issue. And again, like you said, I mean, I thought you brought it up perfectly. You're the hunted now. Like people are going to come in and they're going to want to knock you off. And you also brought up very aptly in that division. That division, like that division has the best rosters in football. Yeah. Like the 3 teams at the top of that division and the Denver Broncos. Like them the 4 best rosters in football. Like top to bottom. If you ask me. I mean, it's one man's opinion, but that, in my opinion, those are the 4 best rosters in football. You can't get
pressed.
Yeah, you can't. There's not 4 better rosters in football. But I digress. The Seattle Seahawks plan to sign free agent cornerback Jadarian Arnold. I did want to get your opinion on this, but the formal finalization of the deal is currently delayed as the team navigates complex league protocols regarding his serious legal situation. Reports indicate that once the contract is officially executed, the NFL is expected to immediately place Arnold on the commissioner's exempt list. This designation means he will be paid his 1-year league minimum salary, but will be completely barred from practicing or playing in games while the league investigates his case. Were you surprised when the Seattle Seahawks announced their decision to sign Jadarian Arnold? And with the league's decision, do you think it still happens? What say the people's champ?
I mean, yeah, I was shocked. Like, what's going on? Right. Seattle, like, this is, this charity? Like, is it somewhat in the organization, a family friend? And again, TA, get your money, bro. You got, you got family to take care of. But it would take someone way smarter than me when it comes to, Seattle salary cap situation.
Right.
And, front office psychology or psyche.
Right.
To get me to make any sense of that. I mean, and then I think they also had a workout with Diggs too, right?
Oh no, he signed him too.
Oh, he signed. He signed.
They got money to buy.
Let me hold something.
Right.
Let me hold something.
I'm with you. Hey, you in Seattle, man. Y'all feeling generous, my baby.
I can fill up a mean glass of Powerade on time.
Right, man. If y'all got paper to burn, baby, holla at your boy. We can
get it going.
I'm going to be out there for 2 weeks in November, man. I can come in and talk.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, the likelihood of him playing is nil.
Yeah, so, I agree. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. And I'm like,
they love his character.
I guess.
Throw the boy a bone.
Yeah, I guess so. But
hard out here for a pimp.
Let's get to the Rams, man.
Before that.
Go ahead.
Before that. The question I have is, should we be looking at Seattle? And yes, granted, they do have a lot of pieces around the board.
Mm-hmm.
These two moves scream that they're not sure about the other side of the field opposite Witherspoon at the end of the day.
Right. I agree. They gave him $101 million guaranteed, and they didn't re-sign Kenneth Walker. I'm not really understanding exactly what they're doing. And I have a lot of respect for Seattle and, their roster construction and the way that they, build their team. But, I find a lot of the moves and the signings and the way the money is being dispersed a little curious.
Head scratching.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure about what's happening here. But yeah, no, I'm with you, nephew. And then they let Kobe Bryant go. Like he signed with the Bears.
And that's what I'm saying. I wasn't talking more so about I'm talking about strictly on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite side of the field that Devin Witherspoon is not covering.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm with you. No, you are absolutely correct. Yeah. I mean, for as good as I think they are up front, they have a lot of depth in the front seven. Yeah, I think that they are concerned, and they probably should be, about the defensive backfield. Yeah, no, you're right. And we about to talk about the Rams. With the Rams in your division and the 49ers, you should be worried about your defensive backfield, because you're gonna need a good defensive backfield. Because if you don't have one, it's gonna show real fast.